Morning YPC, welcome to the Week 9 wrap-up. We're going to start with the champion as usual. The champion played, it was son versus father this week in the hallway series. Uncle Ruben played Little Rubes. Final score 122.3 to 127.3. Very close game. Bears D was blowing up with 37 points for Theo Ruben's high score, and the Shore was Ruben's big score with 25 points. The story here, I think, was Stevie Johnson getting his thigh bruise. With that happening, I mean, he still, he scored 5.9 points, but he was kind of in and out of that game. I was watching that off and on. And the other thing was Eli. Hurt you big time. Eli scores 4.3 this week and 7.9 last week, so it gives him a total of 12.2 in 2 weeks. Looks to me like Alex Smith is coming in. So it was a close game, heartbreak loss, putting Ruben at 6-3, in third place by himself in the NFC, and dropping Theo Rubes one game, which I needed. So we're both tied. Me and Theo Rubes are tied in second place in the AFC with Sheep at the top. Trying to think, there's really nothing else much notable in this game. It was really close. I mean, it's a 5-point game or 6-point game to get the win, but very much needed win for both of you, and unfortunately Ruben got it. But it does, like I said last week, the other thing too was Darren McFadden. I mean, him going out, that hurts you. I mean, he's guaranteed lately 20 points. So yeah, you're getting an injury bug here. Unfortunately, Theo Rubes in the last little bit of the season, which is exactly when you don't want to have to deal with it. So I wish you the best. Good luck going down the stretch. May the fantasy gods be with you as you guys go down this stretch for everybody, because it's going to be interesting to see how these next couple of weeks shape up. The second game we have, we'll go to Sheep versus Uncle Benj. Sheep got the win. The final score to this one was 127.8 to 88.9. Sheep's top scorer was Freeman again at 24.6, and Michael Turner for Theo Benj at 19.2. The bummer here is that I would have started Stafford too. I think that was a good start against Jacksonville Jaguars. Unfortunately, he only got 14.1 points, and LaSure gobbled up all those touchdowns. He had 3, so that was a bitch, and that was pretty much probably the deciding factor of trying to get you in this game. I mean, you did have. I wouldn't have started Ben, but I mean, Ben did put up some decent numbers. But the noticeable thing here for Sheep is that Sheep could have beat Ben with his bench. He had 5 players with 94.5 points on the bench. So Sheep's bench is producing, and that's kind of a nice thing. Sheepy going down the stretch. It's putting Sheepy at 5-4, all by himself at the top of the AFC, and dropping Ben to 2-7. Ben, I know what you're going through, man. It's you get on the losing streak, and then it seems like it just snowballs. It's 5 in a row. Hopefully, you can get out of this rut. But it knocks you down to the very last spot in the AFC. But our division is you could say it's not very competitive, or it is very competitive. But it's gonna get. I mean, it's tight in that league, so I wouldn't count yourself out. Just scratch and claw to try to get it going in that league, or getting it going in that division. The next game I'm gonna go is gonna be me. The other battle of father son. Thank God I have Doug Martin on my team. As of the highest that I know of was Chris Johnson a couple years ago. I think Nick had him, and he went off for 60 something. This is the most in this league that I've seen scored 82.2. With the Chargers starting off so well and Dwayne both scoring pretty decent on Thursday night, I thought I was in trouble. And then I look at my score, and it continued to kind of escalate. I didn't have the high score of the week this week, but I did have the high player score of the week. Busta got the high score of the week. But anyways, it gives me the win, a much-needed win, 186.6 to 108.1, dropping Lions Den to 4th place in the NFC, and putting me tied for 2nd in the NFC, which doesn't mean really shit because we're all a game apart pretty much in that division. So whoever's in the AFC, they just need to continue winning to pulling out. And same thing actually everything down the stretch is crunch time. So my bench did score 91.5 points, which is kind of nice. Hopefully it continues to be that way. But I got the win. That's what I needed. Unfortunately, Dad, you got the loss. Um, we're going to move on to the next game, which is going to be um, Jinx versus Highview. Um, Jinx got the loss, putting him at 7-2, putting Highview at 3-6. Denny, you needed that win, putting you in the mix, man. Impressive score. You got Adrian Peterson with 37.3 as your high score. Jinx, it was 25.8 with Forte at your high score. The hard thing for you, Jinx, is that for Jimmy, is that Matt Ryan didn't produce as much as he normally does in that game. So you had some decent production. You got 20 points from 4 guys, but that 37 points from AP and then 24 for Wallace from Denny and almost 20 from a tight end. That's nice production. So the dilemma for Denny going down the stretch, I think, is from a managerial standpoint, is Tony Romo, who he originally didn't start and traded Foster for Griffin. That's kind of a awkward or kind of a funny thing because now you have Griffin, who you're probably going to sit and start Romo because he's producing. But think if you would have had Foster instead of Pierre Thomas on your bench, you actually could have made a little run. Now Rude has the triplets, the quadruplets over there handling his business. So, anyways, kind of an situation I was looking at earlier. I mean, if you had Foster on that bench, you could be making a run. You still may, but anyways, I was just looking at it earlier, adding my little 2 cents in there. The next game we'll go to will be Rude. Rude played Shit His Pants, and he shit his pants in this game. Rude got the win, puts him at 7-2 versus Black and Pants at 4-5, dropping Black and Pants to last place in the NFC. And Busta actually has edged him out with the most points for. So Busta has the most points scored in the league at 1309.4, edging out Black or Shit His Pants. So it's kind of odd that both of these guys are the lowest in the league. But the problem is they're giving up the most points too, next to me. I gave up the most, 13-15, which is why my record is the way it is. But Busta and Shit His Pants are 1272.5, 1275.2, so they're right there. So, if you give up a lot of points, you're probably not going to be doing well as far as the schedule or as far as your overall record. So the big winner here are the big point getters for each team were Lynch 26 for Shit His Pants and for Rude Manning with 28.3. Looking at Rude's roster, I mean, he's got 28.3 for Manning. Ray Rice gets 18.4, Arian Foster 20.1, Fitzgerald at 19.4, and Trent Richardson at 22.6. Nothing jumps at the board, but you got guys and teens all over the place. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens going down the stretch. I mean, anybody can beat anybody in any given Sunday, but it's the consistency that's the big thing there. And now, I'm glad that you start Shit His Pants. I mean, I'm glad Shit His Pants started Cam Newton. That way he got you some points, 25.8, which was pretty surprising. Andy Dalton put up 20.6. So it's going to be interesting to see how Shit His Pants manages his team going down the stretch too, especially with these wins that are going to be needed. Now the last game of the week was Busta versus who did Busta beat the shit out of? Oh, he took. And the final score there was 2-0. High score of the season, 210.1 to 107.5. A bitch slapping of 100 points plus. Aaron Rodgers scores 45.2 points, and Johnson scores 22.9. I mean, Marshall blew up, and there was just no stopping this team this week. 45.2 for Marshall. 2 guys score over 40 points is ridiculous, and then Eric Decker scores almost 30. And I was looking at your bench, B. You had Deshaun Jackson on the bench with 31 points. That would have put you in the 220 range. That would have been the record for league high. 219 is the high from the old system, but that hasn't even been beat yet. So, I mean, 210.1 is the most this season. Putting Busta at 4-5, tied for actually putting him in 5th place in the NFC. And then took you down to 4th place by points in the AFC. So really nothing. I mean, Rivers produced. Ryan Matthews is kind of a bust this year. I don't think he's been doing much, but congrats to be on the win, an impressive win. And I'm trying to see which. Yeah, Deshaun Jackson and Matt Schaub. You got Matt Schaub on the bench too. So, looking forward to the next week, Week 10. I was looking at everything. There's a bunch of good games that are going to be happening. I mean, I don't want to single out any one game because they're all pretty much do or die. A couple of games did catch my eye though. I think Dirty versus Sheep, the tops in each division again. A couple weeks ago, Jinx was the top, and Sheepy lost to him, so it's going to be interesting. That could be a good game right there. And then we have every game is pretty much a must-win. I mean, Des Bryant's Family Beatdown versus the E Street Raiders. I think if Benji loses that game, I might put him out of the playoff hopes. So, and I'm playing Took, which is a huge divisional matchup because we're both battling for 3rd and 4th place. I need to win because I don't have that many points scored. So, anyways, so there's some good games here. If I didn't mention your name, it wasn't because your game's shitty. I mean, everything. Black and Pants versus Denny. I mean, everyone's gonna be, and then Jinx and Ruben. Those are battle basically for 2nd place in the NFC. If Ruben can beat him out, he might be able to get. He has a points edge too, so that's an important game too. So, gentlemen, here on out, it's going to be very close going down the stretch. Good luck this week. Get your lineups in. Trade deadline's coming up, so make sure you guys get any last-minute trades if you want to get them in. All right, good luck next week, and thank you very much. Peace!